Hey guys, this is Terry. I want to give everybody a quick update on what I've been up to. I think on my last video, I was working on the throttle and some other stuff like that, like the kick down cable for the transmission. I got that done, and I went ahead and switched gears towards kind of taking care of some of the plumbing I have to do as far as the air conditioner and the heater hoses and stuff. First thing I did was I went ahead and installed the Tight Fit AC hardline kit from Vintage Air, and for some reason I couldn't find this little holder assembly that I guess is supposed to come with it. So, and then I couldn't even find it to buy it. Summit has it listed in their parts, but for some reason there's no add to cart button, and I gotta assume that when that happens they don't have it. But anyway, I fabbed up my own. Picks up a mounting hole in the front and screws onto there and holds the lines in place. And I did the same thing down here with this one. The condenser's always been installed, but none of the line holders. And when I went ahead and started making all my lines and stuff, I decided I better probably stationary them up a little bit. I actually went ahead and bought the tool to do the bead lock fittings for the AC hoses. I thought that for the amount of time and having to get these clocked right and cut to the right length, it's probably worth my time to do that. So that's what I went ahead and did. I like the tool, it works really well. Of course, I haven't pressurized it yet, so we'll see. I don't think it'll leak. It actually acted like it was a pretty good deal. But anyway, I ran the lines down underneath the motor mount. You can see down here, and then they go along here, and then they come back up and go to the dryer, and then to the bulkhead fitting on the inside. Oh, down here, I found some of these style brackets right here on eBay, and they want like $9 a piece for them. So I just kind of made my own. It keeps these lines in check, and then I made another one over here to do this one to keep it the way I want it when it goes up. So let's see. Heater hoses. Was going to do made on ends on both ends of the heater hose, firewall side and engine side. I don't know if anybody remembers earlier in my videos, but this nipple area, exit, port, whatever you want to call it, was originally, well, there's one over here underneath the alternator, and there's one underneath the air conditioning compressor. When I went to a serpentine belt setup, that kind of screwed the pooch on that, so I cut this one off this side and just welded a plate in there, and then I cut this one off of this side and welded it in right here. I actually ordered the adapters to go made on line ends both sides. The adapter screws in there, and then the bead lock fitting, which that's what these are, go on there, get pressed on there. The problem that I had was that I could only order a 45 or a straight for this area here. I mean, they make like 135 and 90 and shit like that, but I knew I didn't need that. The straight was putting the hose too far out to this side, and the 45 was shooting it off at a weird angle, and I didn't like the way it looked. So I didn't like that part of it. Then we get down here, and we have this water pump area that has the billet aluminum bracket to hold all the serpentine stuff on. Well, I had to air file out the water pump to get that little adapter on, which I don't know where it's at, but anyway. And that put it pretty far deep in the side here. Well then, once that was done, which I could have got to that part of it, but then I still got to get once that adapter is screwed on there, this big guy here still got to go on there. Well, this nut here was hitting all of this right in here. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'll just do some clamps on there and be done with it. So what I did was I had this nipple here already in there. It's extended nipple. And I went and bought a 90 and cut them both off, and I welded the 90 on to the extended one, and that shoots it straight up and runs the heater hose like I want it to up into the bulkhead fitting. And I'm alright with that. But yeah, it's starting to get a little busy in there as far as all that stuff's concerned. Then we went inside here, and it continues to be busy. We got this going on up here for the interior bulkhead fitting where it comes through the firewall. This line here goes to here. Let's see if I can do something different with this line. This line here goes to here. This line here goes to here. Heat in, which is this one, has to go to this little guy, the electric heater control valve, and then it goes to this port here, the far one, and then the out, which is this one over here, it has to go to this one. So all that's got to be done yet. I did kind of start getting the heater box kind of mocked up in there. You can see it's not very easy to mount and play with, so we're still working on that. I think what's going to happen over here is I've got one more mount. They don't give you a lot of mounts, and it's kind of loose yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend a piece of 5/16 rod and bolt to here, and it'll come up and 45 up and catch this mounting point here and kind of station it up at the front is what I think is going to happen. I still have to do the drain. The drain's going to come along here and along this side, may exit here on top of this area, or it may go right straight out. The thing I don't like about that is it'd be draining near the distributor and the on top of the transmission, so I may do something different there. I don't know yet. Still in the early stages of installing that heater box. There's a lot of crap going along with that, and there's not a lot of room up there, so I did check to see if I could get all of the lines and stuff on, which I can. So it's gonna be tight, but anyway, that's what that's looking like. Just been doing a lot of little piddly stuff. Got some new heater hose. I figured if I'm gonna put made-on ends on, I might as well put it on new heater hoses. Something interesting happened earlier this week. I got my original go-kart that I had when I was a kid growing up back from a friend of mine. I sold it probably to him 30 years ago, and he just instant messaged me on Facebook and asked me if I wanted it back, because I'd forgotten all about it. I said, yeah, I'll take it back. Fix it up for Julie's grandkids to ride around when they're old enough. I'll put a 5-horsepower motor on it and then govern the shit out of it so they don't kill themselves. But it's got a lot of work that needs to be done to it. I'm gonna get on that as soon as my truck's done, if I ever get it done. I think this is a Speedway Motor Company quarter midget race car. When we actually had this when I was a kid, it had a plaque on the side of it somewhere that stated that it had won a race in Las Vegas. So that was kind of interesting about it. It needs a lot of fiberglass work. My dad, when he originally bought it years and years and years ago, he machined a bearing for the axle, so it isn't like a four-wheeler where it's all Positrack, because it didn't want to turn very nice. So he made a bearing so the wheels are independent of each other. It has one drive wheel, but this is the little handbrake back there. It needs a lot of work. It's going to take a lot to get it fixed up and everything. The one thing I didn't like about it whenever I drove it was at one point, and I noticed that they had taken that out, it used to have an actual foot feed throttle down there. You can kind of see some of the holes are still down there from where it was used to be mounted at. And this was the only brake. I think what I'll do is I'll go a different direction. I'll go ahead and leave this because it's supposed to be on there. But I think I'll go ahead and install foot throttle and a foot brake to where you can use either one and have it work. But it used to have a seat, a cushion seat that come along here and then wrapped around and snapped along here all the way around. I don't know where that went. I'll have a upholsterer make me a new seat for it when I get to that point. It's got to have a lot of fiberglass work done back here because it must have had a ton of motors in it since we had it, because the fiberglass wasn't originally cut all out like this. But if anybody knows anything about these little go-karts, let me know. Like I said, the only thing I can figure out is it's a Speedway quarter midget racer made by, I think it was Speedway manufacturing out in California or something. I have a brochure that I downloaded off the internet from back in the day. I think it was 1950s era. But anyway, guys, that's what I've been up to. Thanks for watching. Bye.